giving a statement in effect of what has transpired and the sequence of events leading us to where we are, the state of our preparations, and give yourselves an opportunity to ask us questions pertaining to what's going to happen next. But without delaying, let me give the SG an opportunity to read through a statement. Thanks. SG. If I may, SG, because I was going to just do that quickly. I was going to. We have member of the High Command, Babu Mkhize, and we have our national chair, who Commander Natin Kleko, and without mentioning much, Richly Bombo, or SG.
No, thank you very much, National Spokesperson of Mkhonto Wesizwe, Nkamolo Nkela, and also want to acknowledge Dr. Mkhize, who is a member of the National High Command and the National Chairperson. Nkosinati Mhleko, I almost said Dr. Nkosinati Mhleko. And our apologies that we got to start a little bit late. We were also want to acknowledge late, Doctor, because we are in the meeting of the National High Command, the event, National Security Planning Committee, which is the ESSPC, for Nkosinati Mhleko. I almost said sometimes that we are organizing here. And our apologies, Moses Mabhida Stadium. So as we publicly stated in November 2024, Mkhonto Wesizwe Party is celebrating its first year of existence as a political party here in South Africa. The many activities and programs we are engaging in as part of these celebrations will culminate, as we stated before, in a public and people's rally and gala dinner, which are going to take place here in Moses Mabhida Stadium and the Olive Convention Center on the 15th and 16th of December 2024, respectively. So the province of Gauteng pioneered the Mkhonto Wesizwe Party celebratory events on Saturday, the 30th of November 2024, in Loras Stadium, Ekurhuleni, which saw traditional and religious leaders, traditional healers, people with disabilities, and more than 20,000 MK party supporters and members in attendance. The program in Gauteng was a resounding success, and we extend our gratitude and thankfulness to members of the National High Command, the Treasurer General, the Deputy National Chairperson, the DSG, the Deputy President, members of Parliament, interfaith organizations, and most notably the President, Commander General Jacob Getlitliki Zuma, for gracing the program and addressing it in Gauteng province. In Mpumalanga province, we had the MK's first anniversary mini rally celebrations on the 1st of December 2024 in Mandla Magudulela Stadium, Mkhonto sub-region, in the Hertsebande region in Mpumalanga. The Provincial Working Committee members of the National High Command, the Deputy National Chairperson and the National Organizer, the Provincial Convener and Coordinator were joined by more than 5,000 supporters of Mkhonto Wesizwe to celebrate the first anniversary of Mkhonto Wesizwe in Mpumalanga. We want to extend our gratitude and thankfulness to the National Organizer, Commander June Lela, who presented and represented us well in delivering the keynote address in the Mpumalanga program. And in KwaZulu-Natal province, the launch of our celebratory program was on the 1st of December as well in Kwanqede Omhlophe Sports Ground in Mandeni sub-region, in Ilembe region. The program was attended by members of the Provincial Working Committee and led by the Provincial Convener, Commander Willis Mchunu, members of the National High Command. And the program was addressed by our National Chairperson, Commander Nkosinati Mhleko. And the rally in Ilembe, in Mandeni, was attended by more than 10,000 people. We take this opportunity to report that as part of this celebratory program, Umkhonto Wesizwe Party is involved in a lot of other activities in all the provinces. There have been so many different people's meetings and engagements in different parts of South Africa. And we want to take this opportunity to report that our president led a delegation which included the Secretary General and the DSG to visit the annual Thanksgiving Day of the 12 Apostles Church in Christ on the 1st of December in Bloemfontein in the Free State Province. We extend our appreciation to all members of the 12 Apostles Church in Christ and Chief Apostle Dr. Caesar Nonmunga for the hospitality and for accepting our invitation to attend the first anniversary activities and program on the 15th and 16th of December 2024. On Saturday, the 7th of December 2024, President Jacob Zuma led a delegation which included the Secretary General, the DSG, and the National Chair to visit Ibandla Lama Nazareth, which is the Nazareth Baptist Church under the capable leadership of Unyazi Lezu Shema. And President Jacob Zuma also held very strategic meetings and engagements with important royal leadership in South Africa. All these activities constitute the core political and liberation program of Umkhonto Wesizwe, which fully recognizes the role of royal, traditional, and religious leadership in South Africa. Our constitution, the constitution of Umkhonto Wesizwe, commits to the recognition of royal, traditional, and religious leadership in society as a whole. All provinces, as we have emphasized, held different programs at the branch, VD, sub-regional, and regional levels. And what is worth noting of all these programs is the people's meeting that took place on Saturday, the 7th of December in Khayelitsha, in Cape Town. And what is worth noting as well is the handover of 2 houses by the King Tetwayo region of Umkhonto Wesizwe to destitute families in the region. We take this opportunity to update the people of South Africa about the activities and programs of the upcoming weekend, which the Sunday will be the 15th of December and the Monday will be the 16th of December. We can confirm that Umkhonto Wesizwe is more than ready to host a successful People's Rally on Sunday, the 15th of December 2024, here in Moses Mabhida Stadium. That the venue has been confirmed, fully paid, and all areas of compliance have been fulfilled 100% in terms of what is expected to happen. And we have secured transportation, which are buses and taxis for all the 11 regions of KwaZulu-Natal, for all the 44 municipalities of KwaZulu-Natal. So we'll be transporting people from Mkhanyakude, from Zululand, from Ugu, from Tukela, from Amajuba, from Zinyati, from Gungundlovu, from all the regions, from eThekwini, in all the zones, the 16 zones of eThekwini. We're going to be taking people to, they're going to be bringing people to Moses Mabhida from Ilembe, from King Tetwayo, from all the regions and all the municipalities. We're going to be bringing the people. And we want to state that we are not going to provide transport for members and supporters of Umkhonto Wesizwe from other provinces other than the province of KwaZulu-Natal. The capacity of the stadium and the logistical arrangements and preparedness that we have put in place will not be adequate to host the entire country for the first anniversary celebrations. It is not practically possible to accommodate all provinces. So it is not because of incompetence or the recklessness of the provincial leadership structures or MPLs that we are not bringing people to Moses Mabhida from other provinces. We have made arrangements strictly for the province of KwaZulu-Natal, and those who voluntarily and at their own cost can come are allowed to do so, but we have not made a special transport arrangements for other provinces, from other provinces to come to attend the rally. And we wish to also confirm that additional to the buses and taxis that have been hired for the people's rally that is taking place on Sunday, the 15th, we have already spoken to PRASA to provide us with trains. So the train lines that come from Kwamashu, from Umlazi, and from Katoridge, we're going to be providing trains which will be used for free by those who are going to ride the trains. The good thing is that we've got a train station just here in Moses Mabhida Stadium. So they will safely take people from all the train stations that come from the line of Umlazi, mostly in the Bridge City area, and then Kato Ridge and Kwamashu, to then come, and then they'll be safely taken back home when the rally has been concluded. The gates of the rally will be in the stadium, will be opened at 7 o'clock in the morning. An entertainment program is going to start at 9 o'clock in the morning. And we're going to have an hour-long of interfaith prayers by the religious community, because we've got a substantial religious community in Umkhonto weSizwe. So prior to the commencement of the official program, we're going to have an hour-long interfaith program from 11 o'clock until 12 o'clock. And then the official program will start, presided by the national chairperson, at 12 o'clock. And then the provincial convener will welcome everyone to the event. Messages of support, messages from the fraternal and internal organizations, and then address by our president on the activities and the program political agenda of Umkhonto weSizwe. On the 16th of December, which is the Monday, Umkhonto weSizwe Party will hold the gala dinner at the Olive Convention Center. And the tables for the gala dinner are still available for those that want to participate in the gala dinner. The contact details for those who seek to attend the gala dinner and also want to use the hospitality suites here at the stadium are provided as packages at mkpevents.co.za, and the number that is provided for those who want to contact is 081-887-3497. We also want to announce publicly, because there was proper and no clear information provided before, that those who want to still apply for vending purposes, like basically to sell regalia or food in line with the necessary regulation and in compliance with what is required, should still contact the leadership of Umkhonto weSizwe here in the region of eThekwini. We have assigned Commander Bongani Cele, who is the regional organizer of eThekwini, to be responsible for all the vending activities that are going to take place. And his number, those who want to contact him, will be 065-892-7305. So Bongani Cele, the organizer of eThekwini, will be responsible for making sure that those who want to have economic value, economic benefits out of the event are allowed proper and properly regulated space to do their work. And then the regions in eThekwini that and sub-regions that want to confirm their pickup points outside of eThekwini, we have assigned Ntando Mkhize to be the one who is going to be responsible for the coordination of transport outside of eThekwini, which will be with a number of 064-503-2475. And for all the transportation of eThekwini supporters and ground forces, we've got Commander Tulas Mkhize, who is reachable on 078-101-0546. And so all the ground forces of eThekwini, if there is frustration about delayed buses, that will be the number that will be available 24/7 to make sure that everyone else safely comes into the rally. And the meeting which we just came from now, which is the Event Safety and Security Planning Committee for the MKP's first anniversary rally, has mandated us to publicly communicate the following. Number one is that no firearms and dangerous weapons will be permitted in the precincts of the stadium and the rally. And number two, that traditional weapons will only be permitted and approved for Amabuto because an official application and approval were made in regard to permitting Amabuto to carry traditional weapons. And they will be moving in a clearly defined route which will end up on the pitch of the stadium. And number three is that there will not be distribution and sale of alcohol in the event itself. It's an alcohol-free event in the manner in which it has been approved. And that those who are going to be transporting themselves are encouraged to use the turnstiles in the south of the stadium, because those who are going to come through the publicly funded transport of Umkhonto weSizwe are going to utilize the north turnstiles of the stadium. So there will be clear directions from all the entrance points as to where the south turnstiles are. And that those who are going to utilize photographic drones should necessarily get a permission from the stadium and from the SAPS so that the photographic drones are not mistaken for something else. So there has to be permission for whatever photographic drone that is going to be utilized on the day of the event. Umkhonto weSizwe is demonstrating to the people of South Africa that despite the electoral fraud, which robbed us of our votes, we are a solid, sound, and law-abiding organization, which will exhaust all permissible legal instruments to fight its battles. The Secretariat of Umkhonto weSizwe will soon communicate the program of action and calendar for 2025, which will begin on the 6th of January 2025. The program for 2025 will include the official opening of the head office of Umkhonto weSizwe in both Johannesburg and here in Durban. So there are, of course, two wings of the head office, being in Johannesburg and here in Durban. And the program for 2025 will include the full establishment of voting district, ward, sub-regional, regional, and provincial structures, and of course, provincial and regional offices of Umkhonto weSizwe in the length and breadth of South Africa. The program for 2025 will also include the organic and public launches of Umkhonto weSizwe Women's League, Umkhonto weSizwe Youth League, and Umkhonto weSizwe Students Movement. The program for 2025 will also include a week-long policy conference to consolidate our policy positions and agenda for change and radical economic transformation. And our program for 2025 will include the systematic and systemic revealing to the people of South Africa on how elections were rigged against Umkhonto weSizwe Party. Umkhonto weSizwe Party remains a disciplined liberation movement fighting for total emancipation and freedom. We remain opposed to the so-called government of national unity and stand opposed to any form of cooperation with the white minority racist agenda. The values and principles of Umkhonto weSizwe remain the following: Ubuntu, unity in action, Pan-Africanism, patriotism and equality, honesty and respect, which emphasizes that we must tell no lies and claim no easy victories, democratic centralism, mandates, accountability and reporting, organic forms of public representation, discipline and hard work, knowledgeability and meritocracy, class consciousness. Umkhonto weSizwe Party is opposed to colonialism, neo-colonialism, neoliberalism, racism, sexism, and all unjust laws and systems and practices that seek to demonize black people and Africans in South Africa and the entire world. Umkhonto weSizwe is founded on the fundamental philosophy that the greatest weapon in the hands of the oppressed is their unity in action. We're a movement that is still fighting for the unification of all progressive forces in South Africa, and the first anniversary celebrations will be demonstration of the decisive move of unification of all the progressive forces and voices in South Africa. Thank you very much. Spokesperson.
Thank you very much, SG. I think let's open it up to questions, whether it's clarity-seeking questions or questions that you feel, based on the statement, certain elements were not covered. So with a raise of hands, could I then identify? And then, please, when you ask the question, you just tell us who you are. And I think we have to roll the mic here. There'll be a second question. Third? We'll take 5. Let it go. That's the third one. Is there anyone else? 4th? Last? 5th? Okay, thanks. The members, the leadership seated here will respond, but I think most of the questions, as would be the case, will be addressed by the SG. Please, if you may. The mic. Can you just get a mic? There's the mic.
I have you off from melancholy. Perhaps 2 issues. With regards to the youth building program, which other kind of parties associated with the progressive caucus colleges which we attended, and in particular the EFF and after the will attend. And then secondly, with the program of organization program, by what point do you believe that we could have the spread of structures from media operations? What understands you said on the part, but what sort of progress you said yourself or rolling out that process? Thank you.
Question number 2, behind you.
Thank you. My name is David Olarabamila. I've noticed that you are saying that the facilitating for all kinds of things. So specifically in terms of numbers, how many people are expected to float out the city? Also regarding the direct unit, how is it going in terms of ticket sales? How many tickets have been sold so far?
Hi, this is everyone student from Lambulo, doing work with the song. I come from in the world zone 96.8 FM to community legislation. Umuzwami, obviously all simple and straightforward. Is SG and Kuluma people that will be catered in transport or rather free transport for people from the region and region. Now the question is, the following anniversary, are we seeing it rotating to other provinces, or is it just going to be KZN in all the units that are coming? Thank you so much.
It's Commander. I think this is the 5th one.
You say that here you will present your evidence to the people of South Africa about the alleged electoral fraud. Does it mean next year you will revise your case that you will do on the basis that you are looking for and collect more information and evidence? And why next year? Why not present during the round?
So dramatic.
Number 2, on the color book, just for clarity, I want to understand the logic behind them because money they are after they are used I know you are your own organization, you do things different, but why do we on Monday, not on Friday or Saturday before the money? Very good money often. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that was the last one. SG. Chair. SG.
No, thank you very much for the questions. The response to the first question is that we have extended the invitation to all the parties in the Progressive Caucus. So we are extending the invitation to the Economic Freedom Fighters, to the African Transformation Movement, which is the ATM, to the National Colors Congress, and then to the African Unity Congress, which is part of the Progressive Caucus. And when they come, we will give them an opportunity to give message of support in the first anniversary of Mkhonto we Sizwe, because these are our strategic friends in terms of the agenda that we're in pursuit of in the immediate. We know, as a matter of fact, because we had direct interaction with the leadership of the ATM, that the ATM has definitely confirmed attendance through its entire leadership that is going to come. Not only the leadership of ATM is going to attend, they've also encouraged their members to come and attend the first anniversary of Mkhonto we Sizwe. So this is a uniting movement, to the extent that a different political organization even has an elaborate transport plan to transport their members to celebrate the first anniversary of Mkhonto we Sizwe. The other question is to by when are we going to have a nationwide coverage of branches of Mkhonto we Sizwe? So, in the manner that it is now, we are of a firm observation and view that a substantial number of people in South Africa are already mobilized behind the vision and banner of Mkhonto we Sizwe. What is to be done now is to organize them into VD-based structures, ward-based branches, and sub-regional structures, regional structures of Mkhonto we Sizwe. We can say without any fear of doubt and contradiction that there is not a single VD in the entirety of South Africa where there are no people who are interested in participating actively in Mkhonto we Sizwe. So from an aerial mobilization point of view, we have achieved a lot of people, and we know that because from time to time there's inquiries of where do we gain access to Mkhonto we Sizwe, but also the map of the recent online application for membership have got a proper balance in terms of geographic spread and balance in all parts of South Africa. So what we as the collective of the leadership are going to be doing is to now organize the already mobilized people who are beginning to see the vision and agenda and political program of Mkhonto we Sizwe. And when we do that much more efficiently and responsibly, we can be able to give an account of leadership structures in all the 23,219 VDs of South Africa having leadership structures before the beginning of second half of 2025. Then that would be a machinery bold enough to contest local government elections in all the 4,364 wards, if the demarcation does not change or reduce the number of wards. But we are going to field candidates for 2026 in all the wards of South Africa. And we will be having representatives in each and every VD, because there is widened and far much deeper interest in the politics of Mkhonto we Sizwe. And there's a high possibility, which I'm sure we'll see when and it happens, that some of the political parties are going to unify with Mkhonto we Sizwe. And that will be communicated when the time is opportune and it has been finalized. So major engagements are taking place as to just how do we integrate, how do we constitute a one political movement. If you listen to President Zuma and all the addresses that he gave in different platforms in the recent past, everywhere he has spoken, he said that we as the progressive forces, as the oppressed people, let's constitute a platform where we must vote together so that we can achieve the political power which can be utilized for thoroughgoing, radical economic, social, cultural transformation and emancipation of our people. So that is the agenda that we're in pursuit of. And it will be demonstrated practically in 2025 and towards 2026 local government elections. And of course, so when we did the press conference to announce the activities and programs of the first anniversary, we did explain the reasoning as to the host areas for the programs for 2024 for the first anniversary. We chose Mkondo municipality in Mpumalanga because Mkondo received 55% of the vote, if not more. We chose Mandeni representing Ilembe because overall the district of Ilembe, if the 29 May 2024 elections were local government elections, Mkondo will have recorded an outright victory in Ilembe district. And we chose Ekurhuleni because of the 5 regions of Gauteng. Ekurhuleni had the highest percentage of people who voted for Mkondo Wesizwe. And then we chose the province of KwaZulu-Natal because without any iota of doubt, KwaZulu-Natal remains the backbone of Mkondo Wesizwe in terms of the proven electoral support. And of course, we are building from a firm foundation of KwaZulu-Natal to expand similar presence, if not even stronger, in all other parts of South Africa. And logically, when a decision is taken over where else do we have the second anniversary or the third anniversary of Mkondo Wesizwe, it's most likely going to be any other province than KwaZulu-Natal, because KwaZulu-Natal has had the opportunity to host a very important first anniversary program of our organization. So the consideration of the upcoming programs will be other provinces. It might be in the Eastern Cape, it might be in Limpopo, it might be in Gauteng, it might be in the Free State or Northwest, wherever that is going to happen. Now the case of electoral fraud is ready, and cases are not presented in rallies. Cases are presented in courts of law. And in terms of the massive evidence that has been presented to the leadership, we are more than confident that when that is brought before a balanced, free, transparent, and open court of law, there will be a clear illustration that there was electoral fraud which was targeted on Mkondo Wesizwe. It was targeted on trying to dwindle and substitute the votes which otherwise Mkondo Wesizwe should have received in the 2024 elections. And that will be demonstrated in an open court of law by the legal representatives who have been assigned to perform such a function. Now, we have purposefully divorced from the culture of other political organizations of holding a gala dinner before the rally, because gala dinners by their very nature, they finish after midnight. So if you have got an important program which will need your energy the next day, it's not advisable that you have a program the day before which exhausts you until after midnight. So if we have a gala dinner on a Friday or Saturday, it's definitely we're going to pass the midnight period, whether it's the speeches and interactions and everything else, and then you still expect the same people to go and address a rally the next day. So we then took it differently, that let's attend the rally fresh, the entire leadership fresh, interact with our people, and then the rally is done around 5, 6 in the evening. We've got the whole night to rest, we've got the second day to rest as well. And then the gala dinner is held in the evening of Monday, when the leadership is again fresh to address a full fresh program, and can easily even cross over the midnight button, such that they don't have any other obligations organizationally the day after. So the logic that we got to apply in terms of the programming said that there was no advisability, none whatsoever, to hold a gala dinner a day before, because that was going to exhaust us in terms of what is happening. And there are, of course, people who have made commitments to buy the tables which are on offer. Platinum table, where the president will be sitting, is priced at 2 million rand. And there is an offer, a firm offer, which is not going to be turned back, of someone who has said they're going to purchase that table to support Umkhonto season. And there's many other offers that are coming as well for the other tables that are on offer for the leadership. But of course, we still open for those who want to participate in the gala dinner of the soon-to-be government of this province, if not the whole of South Africa. Umkhonto is the party. Thank you very much. National Spokesperson.
Thank you, SG. That was a comprehensive response to the questions. Unless if we have any other questions. Yes, we do.
In the stadium will be
again with the genetic questions.
opened at 7.
Third question. Okay. Third question from Megan Gala. Fourth, the WN.
The party has come out quite strongly in stating that it will reveal more information, around the allegations of electoral fraud against the elections next year. However, will this not also implicate, and I say this respectfully, senior members of the party that have switched over from other parties, and perhaps including yourself as well? Thank you.
You've had some setbacks at the court level with regards to challenges from other coaches forward. And one understands that last week in the court case against the IEC, there has been a supplementary application of the violence to etc. Have you got a date yet for the court case?
Sure, it's I heard the SG mentioning the party that was invited, which are part of the support. But now, I'm looking at the fact that during the last meeting, we had mentioned that come April next year, you will have the provincial government with the focus on that. Now, looking at the fact that the parties that were mentioned being invited, none of them have the numbers to essentially balance the entry parts to the provincial government. So I think my question in line with this comment that one is to who outside of these invited parties are you present to the provincial administration government, constitutional government, especially about the 2036 local municipality are there municipalities that we would look at, including mentioned by you, that the MP party will be campaign to this? Thank you.
Shops. EMK, as we all know, it sort of prioritizes the Hulu equals Natal, but we haven't seen EMK being active when it comes to the issue of shops and our kids they are dying in our community. As a community journalist, we see these things every day. Asikaze siyibone i-MK ihambela indawo zasemakhaya ikakhulukazi ihamba ilungisa le ndaba yabantwana ababulawa ukudla okubolile ema-study shops. Thank you so much.
I think this allows the chairperson to respond to the question as raised pertaining to the IEC.
Yeah, we're about breaking news, yes, exactly. But to learn from a gentleman with the... I mean, I've hardly seen a journalist with a tie on. Nevertheless, I don't want to interfere with you, with your freedom of... yeah, no, let me deal with the few things. I think, firstly, the question of the legal case. There's a lot that went wrong. There's certainly a lot that went wrong. We may choose to ignore certain things because we want to. But we decided that we're not going to ignore those particular things. Some of the things were just glaring kind of evidential material in terms of how misadministered the past elections were, for an example. Be it from the transportation of your ballot boxes, ballot papers, and everything else, those things kept on coming up. But largely, I think people decided to ignore things such as that. But there have been ongoing sort of anomalies. For instance, in South Africa, this thing doesn't make sense. A party that cannot attract 5,000 people to a rally, that party is number 2 in the governance structure of South Africa. It's impossible. MCing, for an example, you would have what's this party, the Patriotic Alliance. It's impossible that people that MCing would vote to Patriotic Alliance. The other parties were good party. It also had votes. MCing, I mean, Ubano was a good party. MCing, out of all places. Right? Now, and you can clearly see that those were acts of manipulation in terms of votes that had to be allocated to other parties other than MK. The fact of the matter is that it became a threat to everybody. And therefore people had to scamper around to do all these sorts of things. Now, the difficulty, of course, with talking about a legal case is the mere fact that it is a legal case. We present our matters in court, and we are quite confident that we will certainly break through in all the identified sort of anomalies in the election. So I think that was the one part of it. I'm not sure whether I understood, for an example, the question from the lady here in front about people that could be indicated. In the work that we have done, in the analysis that we have done, for an example, with regards to the IEC matter, we had to look into the overall system, for an example. The system that the IEC is using, we have to go into it and analyze it. And maybe all other broader sort of systemic issues as well. So, and I don't remember a case where any other political party is implicated and or a particular individual from a political party who now happens to be part of MK. So so unless I misunderstood you really, but I have not picked up anything of that sort. So I would advise, ladies and gentlemen, that perhaps, given the complexities and difficulties when it comes to legal matters, for an example, that we respect that particular process. And so it was. Now the last question about when and how. When and how, by the way, I will answer also your question. When and how will we take over? We also would prefer not to talk about that. Whom are we talking to? We'll also prefer not to talk about that. It's better for you, Mr. Bob, to see that and witness that as and when it unfolds. Largely because, not because we don't want to talk about things of this nature, but we must also respect processes, confidential processes, processes that we are not at liberty to even declare to our own selves and so on. Things that we would also be engaged with and in towards particular sort of points of results. So I would counsel to them say let's leave it at that. Shouldn't get much into that. There was a point about, I think your earlier question when I commented was, would we see a circulation or rotation at some point of activities such as this? It's possible. Let me put it that way. We don't have a firm sort of, policy position that says we shall always have it here. Circulation is quite possible. In the same way that the manifesto launch, for instance, we had it in Gauteng. So we will continue to assess our material circumstance from time to time as an organization and decide, of course, in terms of how we hold certain activities and why we hold those particular activities. So I think we're good for now. You are invited on the 15th. Yeah, thank you.
No, thank you very much. I think the national chair has dealt with the questions on the electoral fraud much more comprehensively. And of course, there's no attempt to want to reveal the details of the evidence that we have here. But the pattern that is appearing is that you have got political parties that were given free votes which they were not supposed to get in certain VDs here in the province of KwaZulu-Natal at the expense of Mkondo Esizwe. And the manner in which those who did so did it, they forgot to shift the votes in all the ballots because there were 3 ballots for these elections. So you find that in ballot 1, Mkondo Esizwe has got 8,000 votes, but in ballot 2 has got less than 20 votes. So that is the pattern that characterized the electoral fraud that we're talking about. And that was not committed by, we don't think by political parties. It was done by those who were mandated to do so, the electoral staff and everything else. And that will be revealed when we go to court. So the question of SABC, I think, reflects a relatively less understanding of the context of how we're lodging the case. But I'm sure when we then go to court, it will illuminate everyone's view so that we all are at once. So it's not a frivolous case. It's not a playful case where Mkondo Esizwe is refusing to accept the election results. It's a genuine case. those of you who can still gain access to the results, you can try to assess all the VDs, all the 4,971 VDs of KwaZulu-Natal. Go and read the VD results and assess all the 3 ballots and explain how is it possible that on the 3 ballots you get 8,000 this side, and on the other ballot you get less than 20 votes. It doesn't make sense. And it was a deliberate attempt to particularly sabotage Mkhonto weSizwe having an outright majority and victory in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, and that is going to be reversed through a proper scientific and correct illustration of the numbers that were stolen from Mkhonto weSizwe. So that is the essence of how such is going to be handled. So you know, Mkhonto weSizwe is a campaigning organization. We're campaigning every day. We're busy every day. So everything else that we do is part of confidence building exercises and programs. So it's not only a 2025 program. Even now, we're preparing for 2026 now. We're preparing for 2029 now. Everything else that we do every day, our engagement with different sectors, the sectoral meetings that we have and engagements, is part of illustrating to society that we constitute a superior alternative in the politics of South Africa. That is what Mkhonto weSizwe is, a liberation movement that seeks to unite all the progressive black voices and black forces, progressive forces. So President Zuma always says that indlu yemnyama yahlangana, finally, to take over political power, because we have been subdivided by the colonial masters and their descendants. That is why they are very quick to fund splinter groups and small parties that are not viable, that cannot win elections. And they try to banish and demonize progressive forces, which, if we were to consolidate, we're going to have a decisive majority in the politics of South Africa. And that is the politics that we are in a pursuit of. The spaza shops, the regions and the provinces of Mkhonto weSizwe have been involved far much more substantial in the protest actions. I know here in eThekwini, the Women's League and women's formations of Mkhonto weSizwe were involved in the Youth League and in Ilembe, in many parts of South Africa, on targeted campaign of even vetting the spaza shops to say, where do you get the food from? Who is your manufacturer? Who is your FMCG in terms of supplies of the products which are being sold in each and every spaza shop? So practical action has been engaged. And you know the sorry mistake which most part of media do, they ignore the work of Mkhonto weSizwe, and then when results come out later, they'll say we're surprised. But Mkhonto weSizwe is on the ground, has been raising the issue of spaza shops. But also, our representatives in Parliament, in the necessary committees, have been raising the issues of the spaza shops. We've issued public statement to state our position, which includes assembling a legal team to lodge a class action on behalf of the organization, on behalf of the people who have been affected negatively by these reckless management of the spaza shops, which led to deaths of so many people. So that is one of the issues that we then deal with. So there's a question of which municipalities are we targeting for 2026. We're targeting all the municipalities, all of them. We're going to put maximum equal effort in all the 247 municipalities of South Africa. So there won't be a municipality where we're not going to put full force. That applies to Cape Metro. We're going to contest against the Democratic Alliance there in full force. In Overberg, Tiveterskloof, in Grabo, everywhere, in Swartland, in Wittenberg, everywhere we're going to go full force to contest in the entirety of the Eastern Cape, in all the municipalities in Jotabi. We are going to contest in full force to take Walter Sisulu municipalities, Sengu, Elundini, everything. Buffalo City, we are going to go in full force in all the municipalities with the aim of achieving the victory. And what we are going to do successfully is to defend the gains which Umkhonto weSizwe has already recorded here in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. Umkhonto weSizwe is number 1 in all the 11 regions of KwaZulu-Natal. We are number 1 in terms of the number of votes received in the 29th of May. And the number of municipalities where Umkhonto weSizwe is not number 1 are very few. It's Big Five Hlabisa, we said in the last press conference, it's Big Five Hlabisa in Mkhanyakude, it's Ulundi in Zululand because of the IFP's historical dominance there. It's Mtonjaneni in King Tatayo. It's Greater Kokstad in Herigwala region. It's Mzumkulu in Herigwala region. But the rest of the municipalities, Umkhonto weSizwe is a decisive number 1, inclusive of Abatulusi, of Nongoma, of Dumbe, of all the municipalities that are strategic. Then Hausa and Newcastle, Umkhonto weSizwe is upward of 55%. So those gains are going to be defended much more boldly and without shame, including the ones where Umkhonto weSizwe is number 1 in the province of Mpumalanga and Gauteng region. Will defend those gains and get to even bring each and every other municipality into the fold of decisive victory. We are a national organization which is going to spread its wings everywhere. It, of course, was not practically possible to could spread the wings of Umkhonto weSizwe in less than 6 months of its existence when the 29 May elections took place. Now there is time to spread the wings of Umkhonto weSizwe, to unite all the progressive forces in all parts of South Africa to achieve a decisive victory. We will definitely be number 1 after the 2026 local government elections, and we will achieve the envisioned 2/3 majority in 2029 elections. And that victory will be a victory on behalf of the oppressed masses of our people for total emancipation. Thank you very much.
I think that brings to a close the press conference. I want to say thank you very much. See you at the historic first anniversary of Umkhonto weSizwe. You don't want to miss it. It is going to be amazing. Thank you and good day. Thanks.